Hello and welcome to Powerline Botany. We're not under a power line. We're in a meadow at a public park in Petersburg. And today we're going to talk about Elytris farinosa, or colic root, the difference between monocots and dicots, and a little bit about how I understand the soil chemistry around me because I got a cool question about it. So this is Elytris farinosa. Farinosa because the flowers, sorry guy, he's brave, have this like powdery coating on them that looks like flour. The Latin word for flower is farina. But it's a plant that likes wet feet. The meadow here, I think it's what's called a hard pan, where there's a layer of impervious clay below it, because if you get any rain, it immediately fills with water. And otherwise the soils here are pretty sandy. This plant is in Nartheciaceae, which is a family that does not come up very much in this part of the world. And it's what's called a monocot. So the difference between a monocot and a dicot is that a monocot, like say wheat, when you plant it, it will come up with one little baby leaf. A dicot will come up with two baby leaves. And this is the major way that we divide between the sort of grassy things, which are monocots, and the non-grassy things, which are dicots, or eudicots if you're fancy. So one of the ways you can tell this is a monocot, besides vibe, is that it has parallel leaf venation. Not all things with parallel leaf venation are technically monocots, but there's only a few rule breakers, at least that grow around here. So this plant likes full sun. You'll see it on roadsides or in meadows like this. It's another one of those plants that kind of suffers from how much tree cover we have in the south now. But a lovely plant, one that I'd love to have in my garden. And yeah, let's talk about the nitty-gritty of the flowers and then about dirt. If we really want to give this plant an inspection, you can see that there are 6 petals, 6 stamens, and 1 pistil. And monocots always have parts in numbers of 3. So in this case, this one is 6 meris because it has 6 petals and 6 stamens. It can also be 3 or 9 meris. But another way you can tell you're looking at a monocot. So I got a question on TikTok about how I knew that the soil at the last spot I was at was acidic. And a major part of that is that we are in what's called the coastal plain. The coastal plain is the last bit of land before you hit the ocean. And it's almost entirely made of sand. Sand is made of quartz, which is acidic. Now, there are parts of the coastal plain that are not acidic because of fossil seashells and oyster reefs and things like that. But those are pretty few and far between. So we're back at my house, obviously, but to continue what I was saying, the other way that I know that the soil in any given place is acidic is by looking at the plants themselves. So, for example, I know that this meadow has Elytris farinosa and a lot of blueberries and Hypoxis hirsuta, yellow stargrass. And all of these things are things that love acidity and low nutrients. And I can do the same with basic soil. So if I find a lot of 2-flower millet grass, Melica mutica, or Aquilegia canadensis, columbine, then I know that that is an area with a soil with a lot of calcium in it. Anyway, thanks for sticking here to the end, and go try to find Elytris farinosa somewhere a little soggy and acidic. Good luck.